Hey there, everybody. Chief Meteorologist Tim Buckley with you. It is 3 o'clock on your Tuesday afternoon here. We're live from the Stream Center letting you know what's going on across the Triad today. Hopefully you've dug out all right from this past weekend. A lot of snow still laying around. It's really sleet, which makes it harder to melt, right? And that's going to be something that we follow over the next probably couple of days. Now, just speaking personally in my experience around the Greensboro area, driving in and out of work, all of the main roads are dry. They're not even wet. They're just dry. So really a good job by the crews in Greensboro particularly. We have heard of some grumblings that Forsyth County has some issues, and any road that has not been plowed, whether it be neighborhoods, side streets, country roads, whatever, if it hasn't been plowed, it's still going to have some ice on it, and that's just kind of the way it is for now, as we continue to have some bitterly cold air. This morning was our coldest of the season so far, and that's no surprise. We were expecting that out there. Let's show you what it looks like outside. Look at the snow. There, it's still hanging on. It's kind of amazing. It's several days afterwards. If this were snow, and again, it's sleet, right? So there's a difference between snow and sleet. But in High Point right now, we are seeing those snow-covered buildings, kind of a pretty beautiful sight, with the Carolina blue sky as well. It's 35 degrees, so we're just inching above that freezing mark at the moment. Winston-Salem looking similarly at the moment, too. Still a good amount of snow kind of topping some of the cityscaped buildings as well. Burlington, let's have a look at you. You're looking all right, mostly drying up over there. Of course, you haven't had quite as much snow as the rest of the Triad has. Over the weekend. Temperatures in your neighborhoods right now look to be mostly just barely above freezing. So it kind of feels okay, to be honest with you. Compared to where we've been, it kind of feels all right now. Mid-30s around the area, just barely above freezing. So if you do have a pesky sidewalk or some sort of icy patch that you'd like to get clear, now would be the time to do it. You let that afternoon sun kind of work its magic, let it soften things up a little bit, and there you go. So that's kind of where we are. Earlier this morning, though, I did want to just kind of document this. This is where we started the day. So morning low temperatures in the single digits, certainly a cold beginning. 8 degrees in Greensboro, 7 for both Winston-Salem, High Point. Burlington was about 9 degrees. Pretty much everybody had their coldest morning of the winter season. Oddly enough, to the north, it wasn't quite as cold. Surprising. Wait, let me go back to the map here. What was the... So Greensboro was in the single digits. Our first single-digit low temperature since Christmas Eve back in 2022. Yeah, so 8 degrees. That's the coldest that we were since back in 2022 on Christmas Eve. We were 5 degrees back then. So a little history for you. That's kind of where we are right now. Now, over the next several hours, obviously it's okay currently. And then going into the night tonight, we're going to be looking at dropping temperatures. Just like the past couple of nights, it will be getting cold. However, it won't be as cold tonight as it has been over the last several nights. So I can't guarantee that we're going to have temperatures getting down very, very cold in the teens. It'll be right there around 20 or so for tonight, right around 20 for tonight. Our model right here has about 21 to 20. So it's going to be a close call on whether we hit 20 or not. What's interesting to me is we have 4 mornings in a row below 20 degrees, and almost the entire next week is going to be around the teens. So it's a pretty epic cold stretch by our standards. Little bookkeeping from the weekend. We are at 2 inches for the season, the winter season. That counts all of December, all of January. And I know that might not sound like a lot, and it's really not. It's really not. But anyway, 2 inches. The average is about 8 for a winter season. The weather pattern going forward is pretty straightforward, at least in the near term. Once we get toward the weekend, it'll get a little bit more complicated. But right now, we have cold weather that we continue to forecast, and we'll continue to kind of lock in and settle into the area over the next several days. So dry, sunny, cold, that's where we're going to be focused for tomorrow, for Thursday, for Friday. That's the easy part. That's the really easy part of the forecast. So there's no real change in that regard. It will be a little breezy, heading into the next few days, but nothing too crazy either. There's no precipitation to track in our area either. The only stuff around the country are up in the favored lake effect snow regions in the Great Lakes. So that's about it for snowfall. Of course, all the chatter and probably what you would like to know about, and I would like to know about as well, is it going to snow again? Either this winter, or more specifically this weekend. There is some intrigue and a chance at least that we could have another storm popping up on Saturday. If we do get a storm, it would be much different than the one we just went through. What was unusual and unique about last week is it was pretty clear for about 8 days that we were going to get hit by a storm, and it was probably going to be a heavy amount of precipitation, which is what happened. I know it wasn't exactly what we said it would be, but we did get hit by a heavy storm, and we're still having the impacts several days later. What's unclear about this weekend is just simply, will there be a storm or not? And if there is one, who does it hit? So the overall jet stream pattern is this. Right now we're kind of flat. When the jet stream is pretty flat, it doesn't usually make storms. Usually you don't get much low pressure to form. What you want to see if you're trying to make a storm is a big dip in the jet stream. And typically what will happen is that your low pressure, the storm system, is going to form right ahead of that big blob, that big circle right there. So this model here, it has that big dip in the jet stream over the Carolinas this weekend, which is to say that low pressure would form ahead of it over the ocean. When low pressure forms over the ocean in a very cold weather pattern, which is what we have right now, it's going to be very cold this weekend, sometimes it can throw back moisture inland with a north wind, which is cold, which means it can sometimes snow. So if you follow me here, it's likely that we are going to see low pressure form offshore this weekend. We call that a nor'easter a lot of times. So a nor'easter is likely to kind of form and get going over the Atlantic. The question is, though, and this is a question that's hard to answer being 4 days away, it's not easy to answer, is does it produce snow, and if so, for whom? And would we be included, or would we be left out and be dry? To me, there's two options on the table for this weekend. We either stay dry or we get snowfall. Either one of those are possible, and that would be for Saturday. Some possibilities would even have us getting a decent amount of snowfall. Because we would be so dry, it could be light and fluffy and easy to move around, and probably pretty fun if you like that sort of thing. But as you know, it's 4 days away, and I really don't like to deal in specifics. We're just watching trends at this point in time. Here's one computer model simulation. It's just an idea. These things change every 6 hours. But as you can see, on Saturday, it has us getting a period of snow. It would be pretty light in variety, but it would be dry and fluffy, and it would be probably pretty fun, and not terribly serious either. Nothing that you need to doomsday prep for or anything like that. You're not going to get stuck in the house for a long period of time. Nothing like that is possible. Well, I shouldn't say that. You wouldn't get without power and heat and all those things, because we would just be talking about snow, no ice or anything like that. Now, if you were to get a lot of snow, you might be stuck, and that's just the way it is, of course, with our plowing situation. There are other models that have this being a little heavier and more impactful, right? And so building up to more of a bigger storm system. That's not something I know for sure yet, and that's not something I totally buy into. But we'll keep an eye on it. I mean, we only have a couple of days to track this for you. We're about 4 days away right now, so we've got to kind of figure some things out by tomorrow and certainly by Thursday to help you plan. Typically, when we get a storm system, there are about 3 possible tracks to it. You can get an inland track like this, where it kind of moves inland and you get messy outcomes with lots of icy mix. That's not going to happen this time. Either path 1, where it's offshore and we're dry, or path 2, where it's pretty good for snow lovers in the Carolinas. That could happen. So what do we do until then? We're going to keep an eye on it. Low pressure is likely this weekend. Lots of cold air around. It's a good pattern for snow in North Carolina, but we don't know who's going to get hit yet. And so we're going to continue to watch it for you. We'll keep you updated daily. But right now, we still could either get hit or get missed. Stay tuned for updates. Here's your 7-day forecast. And as you see, it stays cold for a while. So overnight tonight, we're dipping down to right around 20. We'll be around 40 tomorrow afternoon. And then for the weekend, looking really cold, really cold. Temperatures in the 20s, still in the teens for those mornings, and staying winter-like going into next week.